Coalition Network, a statewide organization built off the Bernie Sanders presidential campaigns and district leader in Greenwich Village. Woo!
Thank you so much. And I have a bunch of hats besides my Bernie hat. Right? Thought it was fitting to wear it today because that movement that Bernie started, that NYPAN is part of, is a movement about people power. Right? This is about people power, not politician power. I'm going to do two things in my speech today. The first is I'm going to talk a little bit about history. 60 years ago, there was a guy named Robert Moses. Robert Moses, he remade a lot of New York City, but he wanted to run a highway right through the middle of Greenwich Village, through Washington Square Park. A highway, right? And a woman named Jane Jacobs, who just was a local resident, organized and took him on. And she wrote this great book, right? The Death and Life of American Cities. This is a Bible that everybody should read. It's still one of the most relevant books about urban planning that exists. So I'm going to do my little history thing. She said, I don't want to lose my Bible. She said, we shall have something solid to chew on if we think of city neighborhoods as mundane organs of self-government. Our failures with city neighborhoods are ultimately failures in localized self-government, and our successes are successes at localized self-government. There exists no inconceivably energetic and all-wise they to take over and substitute for localized self-management. Then she addressed the difficulty of standing up to City Hall. It is not easy for uncredentialed people to stand up to the credentialed, even when the so-called expertise is grounded in ignorance and folly. Then she talked about the role of the public at public hearings. This is what she said. Proceedings are heartening because of the abounding vitality, earnestness, and sense with which so many of the citizens rise to the occasion. Very plain people, including the poor, including the discriminated against, including the uneducated, reveal themselves momentarily as people with grains of greatness in them, and I do not speak sardonically. They tell with wisdom and often eloquence about things they know firsthand from life. They speak with passion about concerns that are local but far from narrow. We need to restore the concept in this city of local communities having a real say in the planning that goes on in those communities. And unfortunately, over the last 8 years, it really started with Bloomberg, but it escalated under de Blasio. Our communities have been stripped of that power. I sat on a community board for 24 years. I know what it means to sit through zoning hearings and listen to the public and come up with resolutions and hope that the government was going to listen to us. And it's gotten worse and worse and worse and worse over the last 12 years. I live in Greenwich Village. I happen to be a candidate for City Council for District 3, which includes Greenwich Village, Chelsea, and Hell's Kitchen. My City Council member is Corey Johnson. By the way, Corey Johnson, who 6 months ago was suffering from depression and couldn't run for mayor, but now he's running for controller. And he announced his controller candidacy right about the same time as they announced this bill. I wonder if there is a connection here. But look at what Corey Johnson did to our part of the city.
Yeah.
Hudson Yards. You know that District 3, district I live in, if you take out the two NYCHA developments, is 95% white. It's more white than any neighborhood in Birmingham, Alabama. 95% white. And is it affordable? No. No. Mayor de Blasio pushed MIH, and what did we get out of it?
Nothing.
We didn't get any affordability in our part of town. Do you know what it takes in our part of town to afford a one-bedroom apartment? Minimum income, $71,000 a year. My daughter is a lawyer at Brooklyn Defenders. She cannot qualify for an affordable apartment. Corey Johnson came out of the real estate industry. Whatever talk he makes about being a good guy and for the people, he came out of the real estate industry. He erased all that from the internet. But it was there before he ran. And now he is showing his true colors. And I think they said to him, Corey, you got to run for controller. We need somebody in city government. We may elect a mayor that isn't pro-real estate. We need you there. Our part of town, whatever the stories are elsewhere, it got implemented in our part of town. There is tower and tower after tower, upzoning, luxury apartments everywhere we look in Greenwich Village, in Chelsea, in Hell's Kitchen, and Hudson Yards, of course, was the ultimate example of that. We do have, this organizing is critical, and so are elections that are coming up on June 22nd. On June 22nd, look for those candidates who genuinely stand up to the real estate industry. Don't let them say, oh, I won't take money from real estate developers. Because the real estate developers will have their PACs and support them anyway. Look at what they say. Look at what they've done. Look at their history. Look at who they've represented. Look at the lawsuits they've done. Last year I had to take on Mayor de Blasio, so far unsuccessfully, because the local community they needed flood protection in East River Park. So for years there was work, local community groups, the community board developed a plan. And then at the last minute, the mayor said, no, I got a better plan. Let's put 8 feet of dirt up and make a wall between and bury the park and make it unusable for the next 15 years. Right? That's the kind of planning, that's the kind of approach to government that we have to say no to, and we have to hold all of these people that are running for offices here, including me, who's running against Corey Johnson's hand-picked successor, his chief of staff, who's going to continue the same policies. Look at the candidates in your communities, and also make a big point of, I don't care who you vote for controller, don't vote, make sure Corey doesn't win. Make sure he comes in 6th, so that when he falls out, so when they do ranked choice voting, he falls off the map. Thank you very much.